Rogers. I'm co-founder of TMR Customs, and this is my brother Mike Rogers, my co-founder and business partner at TMR Customs.
We're from Newmarket, Ontario, Canada. We're down here at King of the Hammers in Johnson Valley, which is in the Mojave Desert in Southern California.
So we came down here. We're spending 2 weeks in the desert to race in the 4400 class. We've been part of the rookie program. We did lots of coaching and mentoring. So we came down here to race the 4400 race the Kings, and our ultimate goal here was to finish the race.
King of the Hammers is undoubtedly the toughest off-road race on the planet. If you look, there's generally like 120 plus cars racing the 4400 class race, and generally there's under 30 finishers. Trying to explain to people how tough this race is, that's kind of how I put it into words. Because you tell your friends and family, oh, you're driving to California for a race, and they're like, oh, you should go win. And I'm like, there's zero chance of that happening. Finishing this race is a lifetime goal just because of the difficulty and obviously our lack of knowledge and being our first time here. So that's why finishing was our ultimate goal for this race. In terms of the race car here, it's a TMR Customs kit car. So we designed these back in 2013. Mike CAD modeled the whole car. It's all CNC laser cut, and like it's a DIY car. We ship it to you flat packed on a pallet and you can weld it together. So this is the second one we built for ourselves. We built it in 2017. It's got spider tracks, axles. That was all done for the Hammers, and then we've got a lot of other like partners that help us out with parts. It runs an LS3, the same crate motor they run in like the 6100 trophy truck, so super reliable. This car, we built it originally like for our local racing, which doesn't have a mix of go fast and rocks. We showed up here like battle ready.
This all started at home, prepping our race car. Obviously we had to prep our car to come race here, and then we started on the road on a Friday morning. We hit a little bit of weather on the way down, hit a bit of snow, but we were ultimately pretty lucky. We kind of missed 2 storms that had passed through.
Day one recap, so we left home, so we got through Ontario. We crossed into the US at Detroit, it's when we clicked off. That would be Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and then we stopped last night in Rolla, Missouri. So that's where we're starting from this morning. So we did about 17 and a half hours of driving yesterday to get us to where we to. The goal is kind of like 3 15-hour days to get us there in 3.
It was 44 hours on the road, and then yeah, we landed here on a late Sunday afternoon and kind of into the evening. Just before sunset, we were pulling onto the lake bed.
All right, we made it. We are live from Hammertown.
When we arrived in Hammertown, everything was okay weather-wise. Then the rain came, and it rained, and it just turned what's normally a dry lake bed into an actual lake bed, and really made it inhabitable where we were in Hammertown. We had to get towed to get off the lake bed. Like, we couldn't drive off the lake bed to get out of here for motor tuning. On our way back, Jamie at Thor called us and he said, we're gonna go to the rookie tents. They're available. Let's move our campground there. We'll camp outside the rookie tents, and then that garage space is free to use. So let's set up there with some fellow rookies. And we were like absolutely lucky that this was set up for us by King of the Hammers, because yeah, this was our shelter and our home for the next 2 weeks is how that would play out.
On Thursday, we went furrow shock tune. We did that with Wayne at Alltech. Our full shock package is from Radflow. We've worked with them for a long time. We love their product and service. So Wayne's partnered with them to make an Evo series shock. That's part of the reason why we wanted to go tune with Wayne.
Basically what was going on is we didn't have nearly enough spring to support the weight of the car. And so you had a lot of preload on the springs, which isn't good. So like for the rear, we like to see between 2 and 3 inches of preload. And we were close to 4 inches, which means that we needed a little bit heavier springs. We do some maths there based on the measurements we take, and then we can figure out what the better spring rate would be. So for this car, we were at a 250 over 250. And now we're going to a 350 over 350, I believe. So that should better support the weight of the car now.
The front shocks are the same deal as the rear. We had too much preload on them compared to what they want to see, so we're gonna pull them, respring them, and hopefully everything's sitting where the guys want it in terms of their preload. And then I believe at that point we can go for a rip and take a pass and see where we're at.
He made a lot of good changes to the car, got a little bit of speed, and then ultimately we ran out of speed because we were running a lower transfer case gear. So he suggested changing our gear ratio in our SCS to speed the car up so we could get a higher top end. So this is our SCS transfer case. Just got it out of the car. We gotta pop the whole case in half. From here, pull this all apart, put the new gears in, put it back in the car, fill it with oil. We're about to swap this big gear, this little gear, and the other big gear that goes here for the 3 gears sitting right here. That's gonna be our new ratio. We made that change late night in the garage, changing those gears so we could get some more speed and go back and do some more tuning with Wayne.
First batch of guys arrived from Ontario, so they all flew into Las Vegas, I think, yesterday. And here they are to pitch in and help us out on the lake bed, which is
Sunday was probably the best part because our crew started to arrive. So Adrian, Matt, Corey, and Eugene all arrived. So Adrian works full-time for us at TMR. He's been helping us out for months, basically plan all the logistics and get organized for the event. Corey's a friend and customer locally that we knew would just pitch in and do anything needed. Same with Matt, he's in the same spot. We just knew Matt could throw down and help us out. And then we nominated Eugene to be our head chef. Eugene does a lot of media work for us back home, but we knew we needed a cook. Eugene's an amazing cook, and he always loves cooking for family and friends, so.
I think we'd have been one of the best fed teams out here on the lake bed. He knocked it out of the park, did an awesome job.
100%. On Tuesday, Dustin and Steven came in. They know the cars inside and out, so they're kind of our head mechanics at that point, could really help us with prep, mechanical repairs and whatnot. And also, we've got to thank Chris from Bald Beaver Motorsports. Chris and his friends ran Remote Pit 1 for us, which was like a huge blessing. We didn't end up short on bodies. Chris brought all capable people, and we were really lucky to have him. We didn't have any tourists. Everyone was here to help. We were stoked that we really came together and had a good racing family.
seal is leaking, so we just had to pull the crank pulley to replace the seal. So right now we just got the pulley off, and we'll pull the seal, we'll press a new one in, and we'll put the pulley back on.
This morning, to get prepared for the pre-run, we had to swap out our alternator as well as finish off the power steering pulley from last night. So everything's in good with those mods, and then we hooked up with our buddies from Thor Motorsports as well as Nachos 4x4 and came out to pre-run the desert.
qualifying for us was on Wednesday. Our goal for qualifying was just to get in a clean run. We didn't really have any expectation of where we'd finish. It was fun to actually have a race gear be in the car, and like that's kind of where we're comfortable. We got lots of race experience from back home, and it was fun to do race car things because everything leading up to that was a challenge. It was spinning wrenches all day and all night to get to that. So once we knew we were there, we felt comfortable. We weren't nervous. We were excited. Piloted like a super clean qualifying run. We finished 76, which was mid-pack. That's kind of exactly where we thought we would slot in. That was our expectation. And after that, we were just stoked. We were on a high that we actually did some race car things at King of the Hammers after all the work we put in. Kids all came down here to visit us while we were out here. So them coming by was one of the highlights of the trip for us. We've been away from home for a long time. It's been nice to FaceTime with them, but to see them in person was great. So they came out back to the lake bed here to visit us, doing our tech and contingency. So all the boys jumped in the car, came for a ride through that. It was nice to have our wives out here, and it was just great to be here as a big family and see everybody and hang out. After we went through tech and contingency in town, we came back to our pit here. Then it was time to do like a full prep on the car, so we kind of did last minute race preparations in terms of logistics. We sorted all that out with Adrian, who was pitting where, our fuel consumption, tire plans, all that stuff. And Steven and Dustin went through the car, like top to bottom. We noticed we had some wiring issues with not only our engine fans as well as our transmission fans. So Chris from BVM, he brought, like I said, he brought parts in so Steven and Dustin could rewire that stuff. They kept working through the night. We were lucky to have all their staff stay up, keep going on the car, and get the car prepped.
I had nothing to confess for. Well, at least I think so, girl. You're ready.
Race day morning was wake up early. I think we're up at 5:30 or so, and get over to the start line we were over there at 6:30, and they started lining up the cars, which was exciting. Like when we come out to Hammertown, the best part of the race day for us is we like seeing all the cars lined up in town and nothing but the smell of race fuel of over 120 vehicles. That's a pretty rad experience. So to actually live that and be one of those cars was super exciting for us.
Yeah, and it felt good being there at the line. We felt ready to go. Having those guys work on the car all night, we knew it was dialed. We knew we had done everything we could do, and that car was ready to take on whatever we were going to throw at it.
Obviously, we had one heck of a drive to get down here. Once we hit Hammertown, it seems like it's been one adversity after the next, and then things got pretty good once our crew arrived, and we had some extra help to help us through all the mechanical repairs, race prep, and getting as prepared as we can be for today's race.
Yeah. From the weather to issues on the car, we've had a lot of problems down here to solve, but I feel ready for the race. I'm excited, and our goal is to finish, so we'll get in there and push as hard as we can and try to make that happen.
Green flag dropped, we took off beside Mel Wade from Evo, so we followed him through a whole bunch of rough wash here on the way over to Turkey Claw. Once we got into Turkey Claw, it was already kind of bottlenecked. We got kind of between a pinch rock and Von Gittin. He was stopped. I'm assuming he had a mechanical failure there. So we were being spotted by cars workers trying to punch the car through, and we weren't having any luck. So Mike grabbed for reverse to back up, and that was it. There was no reverse gear, so we knew we were in for a long day of adversity right then and there. So course workers pulled out winch line, but we kind of had to wait till there was another line on course where cars were punching through right beside us, and we weren't in a rush. We were just settled. In the other line, a car flipped, and then that was kind of the opportunity to winch. The course workers were running the winch up the hill, and then Chris Ray, who's an amazing co-driver for tons of teams down here. He's had massive amount of success at the Hammers. He came flying in like Spider-Man. Like, I don't even know where Chris came from, but Chris grabbed our recovery gear and the winch cable, basically, that the course workers had out. He ran up a mountainside, hooked it, and then he was spotting us through. So he's telling us winch in, winch out, and then obviously giving us driving directions as well.
The rest of the trail was kind of a walk in the park, just sort of took it easy to get through there, and then we're out into the desert after that.
We were talking in the car, like, what are we gonna do? We've got no reverse, so like, how far can we really take this thing? Ultimately, like, we wanted to go as far as we could, but we didn't want to become a bottleneck and ruin anyone's day. That's not our style. We didn't want to plug up a trail, so we're like, we'll just keep punching it down the course and see where we get. So we got all the way through the desert lap. We got up into resolution. We knew we still had our forward gears, and we're like, we can drive this. We've done this in qualifying, so Mike piloted us through Resolution. Same deal, we ran the sand hill and around back door, and then we came into main pit.
We took fuel at main pit. We looked the car over, everything was still good to go. So we were sort of still on the fence to what we were going to do, but we're like, you know what, let's keep going. We've again got our forward gears. I figured we could pick up Turkey Quad no problem without a pinched car in the race line. So I was like, let's just get through that and keep going, see if we can put in more desert miles. No problem. Came up the exit hill, started leaving on the sandwash, and we lost second gear, third gear, and we took out our front drive shaft. So we were bummed, but we had to call it a day.
The racing was a ton of fun. We enjoyed qualifying. The desert lap was like phenomenal. I mean, we put in 80 miles running at a good speed. That's something we never get to do at home. That was fun. Highlight for us was really, or for me anyways, how hard our crew worked, and then our families coming and seeing us after the race and hanging out here in Hammertown. Our kids got to experience this at a young age and got to see us race on the big stage. This has been a pretty cool journey. We've learned a lot. We just want to thank everybody, obviously our brand partners that help us out with the car, but most importantly, everyone here that pitched in, even like our staff at home, like they kept TMR Customs running smooth. Like
yeah, and this whole thing's just about having fun. So just get down here, have fun with friends, family, and racing. It's a great time.